And good morning. I'm your friend Scotty Ray. It is Tuesday. I officially checked it on the calendar to make sure I was right. How do you feel today? We certainly hope you're in a good mood. It's already 6:30 as we begin this day. As we start out at 68, we had fog earlier. It's starting to fade. That's good news for us. We do have a 20% chance of a shower this afternoon, sometime after 3 o'clock. Not big, but sometimes those 20% chances give us a little bit of wet stuff. Let's see if that happens this afternoon. Our high is going to be warm. It'll reach right about 92 today is what we're expecting. Lots to discuss as we get into what's going on across America this morning, and we'll get into all the local events coming up at 7 a.m. I hope you'll join us and hang around for all that. I think we've got a special guest coming. I'm checking on that. We'll see here in a few moments to see what we have. All that's up and coming this morning. Let's go to Collinsville now. Also, we want to say a big welcome to all of our WMOX listeners this morning on the radio. Thank y'all for joining us. Let's go to Collinsville now and get our good word for the day.
My wife and I have been fortunate enough to travel all over the U.S., camping and hiking through many of America's national parks. From the rugged coastlines of Maine to the rolling mountains in Tennessee, to the high country deserts of West Texas and New Mexico, we're often speechless when we first encounter such beautiful landscapes. Not only that, but it's such a joy, and it's exciting when we come across the native creatures of the area, whether it's the black bears of Tennessee or the large desert lizards and rattlesnakes of West Texas. Our country alone holds so much beauty, and I praise God for his handiwork, both in the geography and the zoology. Listen to Genesis 1, 24 and 25. God said, "Let the earth produce living creatures according to their kinds." And it was so. So God made the wildlife of the earth according to their kinds, and all the creatures that crawl on the ground according to their kinds. And God saw that it was good. You see, God masterfully and carefully crafted each and every creature on this planet. It's easy to overlook, but there's wildlife all around us. From the wolves of the north, the reptiles of the south, or simply the birds and the squirrels right outside your window. The Bible tells us that God created every living creature. In the busyness of life, it's easy to pass by the ordinary. But today, take a look outside. Enjoy the beautiful butterfly that comes near you on your back porch. Admire the resourceful bird in the parking lot. Look for the deer right after sunset. Here in Mississippi, relish the rare moment of seeing a black bear or a fox. If only we would stop, look, and listen, we'd see and hear God's creation all around us. Because, of course, this is my Father's world. And to my listening ears, all nature sings, and around me rings the music of the spheres. This is my Father's world. I rest me in the thought of rocks and trees, of skies and seas. His hands, the wonders wrought. Change begins in you.
The Change Begins in You is brought to you in part by Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville, Patrick Allen Companies, Mitchell Tire and Wrecker in Collinsville, and Mowdy Cabinetry. Hope you enjoyed that, and welcome back. I'm your friend Scotty Ray as we get off to a Tuesday morning here, already September the 16th. If you got a birthday, we'd love to hear from you. Odie's checking his list, and well, you're doing it twice, aren't you, over there?
At least.
Just like Sandy, he's getting ready for our list coming up to the 7 o'clock hour. Get your birthday into us there. As you said, Mark, amen to all of that. As we discuss what's going on across America, we start here in Mississippi. As you will learn or probably heard by now, there were two different people across the state of Mississippi that were found hanging yesterday. Our first was at Delta State University. The statement from the Delta State University Chief of Police, Michael Peeler, says the investigation found no evidence of foul play. So that leads one to believe, and although it's not spelled out, that this possibly could have been suicide. We're not 100% sure on that, but they did release a statement. There's no evidence of foul play whatsoever. We have a second that occurred last night near one of the casinos in Vicksburg. The man, his name is, and I may not pronounce his last name correctly, but he's been identified as Corey Zetkus of Brandon, Mississippi. Now, at this point, is being labeled a death investigation, which means when you label something a death investigation, it means simply that. They know a death has occurred. They're not ruling out either side. So an investigation has gone on into this of what could have happened there. It was found in a wooded area near one of the casinos there. As soon as we get more information on that, we will get that out to you as quickly as we can. Horrible to think 2 deaths in the state of Mississippi, but it did happen. 1 confirmed, most likely to be suicide. The other still an investigation going on with that. Horrible, no matter how we look at that. As we get into headline shaping America, unions, Long Island is where we go this morning. As they were getting ready to do, well, a boycott, a strike, however you want to word that. They asked the president to step in, and it's been averted. It looks like they're going to be able to make a deal after President Donald Trump got in and negotiated with them. That's good news. We don't need anything shut down at all. Long Island is where that was taking place. Now, I don't know as much about some of the sports as I should, and this name doesn't ring a bell, but apparently this guy was good at what he did. Former NBA player Jason Collins. Does anybody know that name? He is undergoing surgery for a brain tumor. So we certainly send out prayers and blessings to him and his family there. At this point, that's all we know. That is bad. No way to shake that in any other different way. We have someone who's been arrested in New York City. Intentional is what the police are calling this, as a man jumped on the sidewalk and intentionally ran over a 16-year-old. 16 years old. He did this with his car, and there's, in my opinion, there's just not a jail cell far enough, deep enough in the back to hold someone like this, is it? He's been charged with murder over this. I don't agree with that, and you know where I'm going with that. We have penalties for this. I think if that is done in a quickly manner, it will end a lot of these folks that do these things. I didn't realize this was becoming a problem, but apparently it is, as we see that we already know that Kamala has been trying to raise the $20 million that she overspent on the election from when she took over from Biden. And I don't think Obama's is complete yet. As you look at presidential libraries, every president gets to pick the town that it's going to go in. And at this point, I don't think Obama's is finished. And they're trying to raise money now for Biden. And donors are going, nah, I don't think I want to give to this. They're having some trouble raising the money for this. Some have given a little bit, but it's not been the vast amount that they need to do anything. We'll see. It's not over yet. Some people can work miracles. We'll see what happens with this. I was trying to see where his was going to be built if they decided on this. I'll dig into it a little bit later, but so far it doesn't matter. They don't have the money to build it just yet. We'll see on that. Did you ICE earlier this week made a stop in Chicago? They were at the car window. They were getting ready to probably make an arrest as the driver took off. He would drag the ICE agent down the road. He got hung on the car some type of way. It didn't end up quite so well for the person that was dragging him. The officer used his weapon to end the threat. That happened in Chicago. And let me ask you this, and be truthful with this when I ask this question. Would you turn your child in? If your child done a crime, would you turn them in, or would you turn the other cheek and say, well, I hope nobody finds out? Think about that. Especially when you know that it's a large sum of money damage that your child has done. Well, 2 mothers found the courage to do that in Florida, as their kids, 12 and 13, broke into a high school, done $50,000 worth of damage to the library. The mothers did do the right thing. They called police and notified them. The 2 children have been arrested for their crimes. They actually broke into the school twice, once during the daytime, and then they went back at night and done further damage. I think the first time they knocked a few books over. When they went back that second time is when they got very dangerous. And sometimes you have to make hard decisions as a parent, and that's what makes you a true parent. I know that some parents labeled as friends, and well, That's where problems begin. Sometimes you have to be the adult and stand up and draw a line and say you done wrong.
That tough love makes you give
Yeah,
them
that's
better,
the word for it I was trying. Tough love.
give them a better start on life than what they were going to.
It does. It teaches them. Sometimes that moment there will stop future events from happening. As Jimmy said, hats off to those mothers, and he called it also tough love there. Trump not taking anything. Venezuela. There's been a lot of talk, a lot of people scared. We've got drug dealers that are getting drugs into our country. Cartels is what they are. Trump yesterday, as he put this out here, that is the tweet there that describes it, to where he made another strike on another boat. He took them out. It was 3 people on this boat. For far too long, cartels have been able to get things into our country and do bad things to our children, our next generation, and that's what's going on. At some point, somebody's got to draw a line and mean that line. And apparently, we've got someone who's taken a stance on the cartel as well. Did y'all hear about this? Now, it's only 3 miles, but it's a pretty big deal. Ford Motor Company is moving their headquarters for the first time in 70 years. They're moving to a lot bigger location. They say they'll be able to do more and help more innovations and do more for all of us when it comes to cars. This thing is going to be, get this, 2.1 million square feet. Can y'all imagine what the light bill is on that? Now, they've had, I think, 2 other locations since Ford began production many, many moons ago, when Henry, the original, started it all out. And still run by family members. We are proud of them over that. Stocks are not all that big. I often thought, you don't remember back, was it when 01, when everything kind of collapsed there and all the stocks dropped to 50 cents? Y'all remember that? 50 cents a dollar? GM and Ford? Maybe that was the time to have bought stock in those companies. But that's the latest that we've got on that. Now, I've read this story 3 to 4 times. Now, I've watched these TV shows. And I have to be honest about this. I'm as useless in a kitchen as anybody could be. I know how to operate a microwave. That is the extent of my knowledge. And I probably could boil an egg. Outside of that, don't push it with me. I can't do it. And so, and it was just the way that I was brought up as a child. We didn't cook. My mom always done it, and there was never a reason for me to do it. And I got married, and Angie sometimes cooks. Did you hear me? Sometimes. She's out there somewhere.
When you're home, she cooks.
Yeah.
You're only home sometimes.
She's a great cook when she exercises that right. But we had a celebrity chef, and he's supposed to be one of the world's best in the Bay Area. As you get into San Francisco is what I'm talking about, the Bay Area of San Francisco. During lunch, Odie, at 12:02, when a chef that is of any count should be at work, he went and robbed 3 banks. Now, this is not the first time that he's robbed a bank. He did it back in 2018, got out of jail, opened up another great eatery. He's supposed to be, again, the best there is. His name is Valentino Luncheon of San Francisco. It sounded like he made up his own name there, didn't he?
Yeah.
But this time he didn't carry a gun. He just handed a note. I guess it's less time if you just slide a note. But you're not that good of a chef if you can take away from lunch to go do it. He said his family needed the money. Was the reason that he done it. And I didn't get the total amount, but apparently he didn't get enough at each one of these. He kept going back for more. He didn't get what he wanted there. A Kentucky man, I guess he didn't get through with his list. He killed his partner. We'll leave it at that. That's the way the headline reads of him killing his partner. The thing was, he had a to-do list of what to do after he'd done the killing. He didn't complete his list. Clean the floor, and it just... The things that go through criminals' minds shocks me. Now, we're going to get into a touchy subject now. And I call it touchy because of everything that I'm reading nationwide. In my mind, it's not touchy at all. There's right, there's wrong in this world. But I'm going to go through a few of these stories of where our nation is headed, and it looks like a nation that is divided. There's no doubt. And what I'm referring to is the assassination of Charlie Kirk, a good Christian man from every account that I've ever read or seen. I don't think he ever harmed anyone. I don't think the man publicly ever cursed. No matter what people said to him, he took it. And that takes some restraint. Have I been able to do that in life? No, sir. I've said some words that I probably shouldn't have. I've asked for repentance. I may have said one yesterday, Odie, that I shouldn't have said. We all fall short of what we need to be. But as I go into this, I look at this. He's refusing to cooperate with police, and he is on suicide watch in the jail, is what, as we get into Jesse Waters, that's the headline Jesse Waters gives this. They're watching him very, very closely. He will not give them the passcode to his phone to get in it. As we go into this, there are 7 accounts, if I'm reading this right, that supposedly knew that this was going to happen. And this is all from remarks online that the FBI has traced. They are investigating several people, and I believe it to be 7 people that they're investigating. We'll see where this goes. Did they really know something, or were they pranking around? The FBI should know before long. As we go into this, the New York Police Department warns of further violence in the wake of this. And what they're referring to is, you go back to the United Healthcare president. You remember that, when he got murdered right in the middle of the street of New York? Assassination there also. And then we have this going. But they're warning more can happen. This tells us, if you're anywhere in New York, possibly anywhere in the US of A, watch your back, is basically what we're saying. This stuff gets further and further into it as I read every morning, every night. There is a lot of hate in our country, and I truly do not understand this. With all my heart, I don't. If someone is hurt, regardless of who they are, you feel for them. You should. But I'm not seeing that across America. Pensacola, we had someone that was injured at a vigil for Charlie Kirk. Someone spray painted on the bridge. They had made something in remembrance of him. Someone got hurt in Pensacola. That's pretty close to us. And then we get into the politics, the judges and the leaders of America. Here's one. Here, let me see where this guy is from. Hamilton County. I can't quickly see the state this is, but this is whichever state this is supposed to be a pillar of the community. Hamilton County judge, a judge, no doubt, says, how's he feel about gun violence and control now in hell? I don't understand how a leader could say that and try to divide our nation. And let me just show you this. It's not going to show any ugly words. It's all blanked out. But this was from a vigil held at New York U College. A Republican president put this together of the college, and they were sitting there. And this young man that is there on that guitar said some very, very disturbing words about Charlie. They were blanked out at the top. And I didn't hold it up there very long on purpose, because I don't like to show that on here. That is, we're extremely family. But how could you sit at a vigil for someone who's lost their life and scream what he did? As we keep going for this, and I looked this up. This was you ever heard of? What town is this? Let me get down here to where this is. Springfield, I believe it's going to be Ohio. Springfield, Illinois. The name of the TV station was WICS ABC 20. And the reporter did a positive story on Charlie and the assassination. She was immediately put on leave for doing the story. She has since resigned and says she doesn't totally understand who, what, or why. Now, again, I'm not trying to bring any division in our country. I'm just trying to simply point out I don't understand how someone losing their life can be celebrated and others run it down. Kid Rock says the media is public enemy number one in all of this. He said he's been labeled a bad name for years and years and years, and I won't use that name that he put up there. And he said it's caused from people a generation of sitting down in front of a television and being led by the media and told what to do, and then they sit and play video games. And he goes, they justify it in their mind through that. Now, let's go to the far right now. Marjorie Taylor Greene, y'all know who I'm talking about? She's pretty much on that line of the extreme. I'm not running her down. I'm just saying that she's on that right hand side there. And let me find the words that she used. Here it is. She says, to be honest, I want a peaceful national divorce, is the way she worded this. She goes on to say that government is not an answer. God is. Turn your full faith and trust into our Almighty God and Savior Jesus. Tighten your circle around your family and protect them at all times. I will pray for the left, but personally I want nothing to do with them, is what Marjorie has to say. Now, again, she's as far this side as you can get. If you're in center, she's this way, and there's a lot of people that way that I've been discussing this morning. I saw something that just hit me like a wall yesterday. And I may have said this yesterday. But the statement said, and after reading all of this, this is the conclusion that I came to. And I didn't think in my lifetime that I would ever say this. You've all read the Bible before, and you've often thought if you lived in those times that you would have been on Jesus' side, would you not? When Pontius Pilate done that, you would have been there to save Jesus' life. The statement that I read yesterday said that we now have a generation that would have killed Jesus Christ. And after reading all of this, I have to concur that I'm afraid that might be true. Y'all think about that. That is strong. We have a nation of a young man, although you may not have agreed with him, why would anybody want to take his life? And then others celebrate it. It bothers me to no end. And if they would take his life, think how Jesus went against the grain. He told them what he thought. He told them what they done wrong, and they took his life. And I'm afraid we have a generation that would do that again. We'll be right back with your weather forecast in just a moment.
Are home problems turning your life upside down? Trust Heblon Heating and Air Conditioning to save the day. We can keep you comfortable with special savings for your home, like up to $3,000 off new HVAC, $69. Keep the power on with a generator. Get $200 off installs and 0% financing for 60 months. We do it all at Heblon Heating and Air Conditioning and offer financing options for any repair or installation. Call for a free quote or visit us online at HeblonHeatingandCooling.com.
Collinsville, Mr. Discount Drugs, your local pharmacy and gift shop, thanks you for your continued support. Whether you shop with us in-store, through our app, over the phone, or in our drive-thru, our team will provide the best personalized customer service experience you expect from your local pharmacy. When you call or message us, you are promptly greeted by the Mr. Discount team that's ready to help. When you choose our pharmacy, you're choosing a locally owned pharmacy that cares about you and your community. Collinsville, Mr. Discount Drugs makes a difference.
Whoops, hit the wrong button. Chet asked, is anybody in the Meridian area working to put together a vigil for Charlie in Meridian? Odie says he thinks he's heard of something possibly.
Yeah, I'm going to research.
He's going to do some research. We're putting him to work, y'all. Let's get into our forecast now.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA.
Record highs and record lows as we go back to 1980 again. What a hot year that was. It was 101 today. As we go back to 61, well, maybe Odie was around. I wasn't. It was 48 today. As we go to Jackson, Mississippi to see what the weather forecast is. Oh, wait a minute. They hadn't shown up yet. Let's go on over to Alabama. They went to work this morning. They tell us that Demopolis should be 91. We'll make it to 91 in Birmingham. Over in Auburn, a cool 88 this morning as we look at that. Not bad at all there. As we go down to Troy, we should see 87 as well. As we move forward to take a look at what we've got. Look at this heat wave that is making its way from West Texas toward the Meridian area. All across Louisiana starting to get warm and making its way into that southwest corner of Mississippi. Now, our 7-day forecast is calling for, here we go. Whoop, I got too fast, didn't I? 92 today. Now, we should see let's back that up to a 20% chance of rain after 3 o'clock this afternoon. Could see a shower there. Our high should reach 92 with sunshine for the most part of the day, but those rain showers move into the forecast later. As we get into Wednesday, it drops to 10%, and then there's no chance of rain again until we make it to Saturday. Still warm, though. 93. We'll see 91 on Sunday as you make your way into church, and by Monday, a 20% chance. Now, let's go another 7 days into September and take us all the way to the 30th. We'll start to see 80s somewhere around the 23rd and drop, well, not much lower. Maybe 87 a day or two there. Only about a 20% chance any of those days there, with lows about 62 to 65 at night is what we'll see there. Not much change in the forecast as we head toward October. That's coming, isn't it? Let's look at our fishing forecast as we get out and about today, as we go out to Clarkdale Superette. Best time to fish today is going to be right at 8 a.m. this morning through about 10. Now, you've got another chance after dark, but a 1 hour chance there this afternoon between 4 and 5 p.m. Should be good there. Sunrise happened this morning at 6:39. Sunset now has dropped below 7 p.m. for the first time, 6:59. Now, the wind's going to be kind of calm. We won't get much backlash out of this if you're out fishing today. Around 5 miles an hour this afternoon is what we're expecting. As we look at what's going on with the tropics, we've got two things developing here. We got a 90% chance of this first one developing off the coast of Africa, and a second one starting to develop there, a 20% chance. Now, let's go to radar. We've got our first chance, or our first spaghetti models that are coming with this. Let me pull this up for you to take a look at this. In this first one, it appears that we will probably miss anything, and it will go to the north. That's what we're expecting up that eastern coastline. We're watching this carefully as we look at this, but nothing new, nothing strange with it, and it should stay way away from us. The second one we'll watch that's starting to develop off the coast of Africa across here. Nothing major, and as we pull up and take a look here locally, a few showers around Vicksburg. Y'all look at this. Vicksburg and that area there southward there along Highway 61. Hazelhurst getting wet as well right now. Their 20% already come through, didn't it? We'll watch it closely as we keep track of all this weather for you there at Doc's Toya Radar. Already 6:57, we're running a tad behind. We're going to hit a few buttons. We're going to make some coffee, and then life will be good for us. And then we'll get in to tell you about everything that's going on locally and what happened overnight, things that go thump in the dark. We got all that for you coming up at 7. Won't you join us? We appreciate you inviting us in. A big thank you to WMOX Radio for joining us as well this morning.